Hello everyone, welcome to Liam and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have Liam. Liam is from England in the UK. So let's see what Liam has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Liam, how are you? Oops,
Um, I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time today for the interview this evening. Thank you. I'm very well. I'm very well. It was a great day today, and when I'm doing interview, I feel the greatest. I feel the happiest when I'm here.
Love that. Absolutely love that. It's brilliant.
So tell me, how was your day today, Liam?
I've had a really good day. It's been pretty lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've had a couple of private readings booked in. So, as you know, I'm an international psychic medium. I do readings for clients all around the world. Today's
Amazing.
been a pretty quiet day. Had an extremely busy day yesterday. I did a party booking. Today, I only done a couple of readings, and I've been really lazy. I've actually just been watching telly, eating junk, and being happy.
Great. Yeah.
That's
We
all I've
need
been
those
doing.
days. We need those
Yeah,
days. I think it's healthy
absolutely.
for sure.
Rest and rejuvenation.
So tell me, what has been the highlight of your week so far?
The highlight of my week so far has been, um, I'd say yesterday, doing a party booking. So what a party booking consists of is I do a group booking setting, doing private readings for clients.
Okay.
And one of the readings that I did yesterday was very touching,
Okay.
emotional. There was a lot of healing that was delivered. There was a lot
Mm-hmm.
of connection that got made. Um, and I help a particular person in a particular direction with what was going on in their life without going into too much detail, you know. And I left that reading feeling a sense of value, worth, and gratitude, knowing that I've helped somebody in that way in their life, you know.
That's amazing. Wow, that's great. I think when you do something that somehow touch other person, yourself as well, is exchange, I think it's remarkable for sure. Wow,
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
definitely.
And where are you from, Liam?
Okay, so I'm from the UK.
Mhm.
Um, and I grew up in a city called Coventry, Coventry City.
Okay.
I did some traveling. I currently live in a place called Earlshilton now, which is a little village. It's
Okay.
near Leicester, not far from Leicester.
Okay.
I've done a bit of traveling. I lived in Mexico for a couple of years.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I lived in a village in Mexico, which was pretty cool. Um, Done some
Why
traveling
Mexico?
to Turkey as well. Lived in Turkey for a little bit and done a bit of
Okay.
living in Spain, Alicante.
Okay.
And then I came back to the UK.
And why Mexico, Turkey, Alicante? It was about because of work or
So the Alicante situation and Turkey was almost like a healing journey.
okay. Mhm.
My partner's in the background, she's laughing, right? Because
Oh,
so the situation and the story was, right? So I moved to Mexico because I did have a previous partner. I was married.
okay.
Um, it was a connection that we made online. I used to do a lot of online readings for clients and free readings to help people. We got connected online. She was from America,
Okay.
and we basically moved to Mexico.
Wow.
We got married, and we lived there for a little while. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the story.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but how unfortunately, it didn't work out. It ended. And I came back to the UK. She went back to the States in Florida, and
Okay.
I ended up doing some traveling. Um, there was some healing that took place on that journey that I did. So I went to Turkey. I then went to Alicante. I was about to go to Morocco at that point, but I got called back to the UK. So I went
Okay.
back to the UK, and I've been here ever since.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Wow. Great.
yeah. There's a little bit more to the story, but I don't want to make it
No,
sad
of
because we can
course.
talk about it now because I have healed a lot on my journey. We did have a son, and he died.
Oh,
So that was the connection when we lived in Mexico as well. And it was a really sad state of affairs what happened with the situation.
hmm.
So as you can imagine, the marriage
Yes.
broke down. I left, and there was a lot of healing to take place from both sides. You know.
Wow. Yes, life journey. Let's call life journey. You know what I mean? We go through
Yeah.
things, for
We was actually talking about this, like my current partner now today, and what we call it is we like to call it character building, character
okay.
development, character building.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Leah, so I always, start the interview, ask my guests to bring something to the show that means a lot to them. So it could be a gift, could be an object, could be a picture, anything that means a lot to you. Is there anything you could share?
I do. So I have my very first, I call them antique. They are my very first antique deck of cards. They are Archangel Michael angel cards.
Wow.
And they have a special story behind them.
Please, can you share?
Yes, I can share. Okay, so I got given to these from a very good friend of mine, and her name was Tammy. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. She's no longer living. God bless her. And it was the very first time I started to develop my gift, my senses, shall we say, and get more connected to the spiritual realm, right?
Right.
And she gave me the confidence to believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember when we first met up, and she was like, I need you to start understanding yourself more with your gift and start connecting and channeling, right? I didn't
Right.
have anybody else around me at that point, but this was a connection that was formed. I now understand everything happens for a reason, right?
Totally.
So at this point, we build a friendship up, which is absolutely amazing. And she helps me with my gift, and she starts helping me. And I did my very first channeling session with her. She guided me through it, and it helped give me the confidence to go in the direction that I'm in now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so she gave me these cards, and I've been using them ever since, all the time.
Wow.
Okay. But there's more to the story, right? So, what happened was with Tammy, we were very, very close for a long, long time. And then we fell out over something so silly. Okay, something so silly, and it's not even really irrelevant why we fell out, okay? But the point I'm trying to make is we fell out, and I never heard from her for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And what happened was, within that time of not hearing from her, she sadly passed away, God bless her.
Right.
I know. So it got left on a note of, I really wish that we could have like made up or had that conversation, holding on to that stuff, And this is the magical part of what I do, right? Okay, so fast forwarding a little bit later, not long after her passing, I'd say probably about 12 months or a year and a half, she actually came through in spirit to me.
Oh,
Okay.
amazing.
And we actually had that conversation, and it was magical, right?
Wow.
Because I did not even need to say a word to her, and everything was connected through her side to me, and it was pure, unconditional love. And what was said to me was, everything that's happened before has all been completed. It is nothing but love. I am here to come through and guide you. I love you. You're going to do amazing on your journey. Okay. And in a couple of months' time, you're going to bump into my daughter. And she told me the time and the place where it was going to happen. And lo and behold, the time, the exact location, and the place is where I bumped into her daughter.
Oh my God. Wow.
So I got speaking to her daughter, and I gave her the biggest cuddle.
Wow.
Um, and I gave her the biggest cuddle and the biggest hug. And I said, I'm so sorry with what's happened. But her daughter knows what I do. She knows that I'm a psychic medium. And what's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful about this story is, so Tammy was a psychic medium and her daughter was a psychic medium because it got passed down to her. So
Okay.
the exchange of energy and conversation when we met with that cuddle and that love and that embracing, she just knew. Okay. And I said, if you ever need me, I will always be here for you at any given time moving forward. I said, your mum loves you. She told me a specific message to pass to her. So I passed her the message and she knew.
Wow. What a beautiful story, Leon. Wow. Amazing. Thanks for
It's
sharing that.
magical, isn't it? It's
That's
magical.
very magical. And I'm sure, Tammy, whatever she is right now, she's listening to the story and I'm sure she's smiling or she's just like having a moment of
Yeah,
appreciate for you to share that for sure.
absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Something
Amazing.
amazing came out of that situation.
Totally. That's how we should always trust the process. I know sometimes we have certain times in our life that we don't understand. Things go a little bit in a different direction that not expecting. We don't know how to deal with. However, we need always to remember that trust the process. There's something about it, and
I
things
love that.
always gonna, there's always an answer. Could take years, could take days, could take a lifetime. However, trust the process. You know what I mean? I know
Well,
it's
there's something I've learned about that lesson just right there, and it took me a long time to go through that. And this is how I shifted my perspective from an energetic point of view with the energy, right? So whenever I'm going through situations now, I always tell myself, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. That's my
yes,
highest good, for my highest self. There's a bigger
mhm,
reason behind all of that, you know? And
amazing,
exactly what you've just said, trust the process and everything will work out. And that's
totally
what I do.
amazing. Leon, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
I'm ready to go through this journey. Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box.
The magic box, the famous magic box.
So I have here my best friend, run for questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just first to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, before I start the interview, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can take another one, okay?
Perfect.
Amazing. First question is, what would your ideal life look like?
Ooh, interesting. What would my ideal life look like? Okay. So, firstly, it would be having no fear whatsoever. Okay.
Mhm.
Having no fear whatsoever surrounding me or being in that energy whatsoever. Um, I would also, an ideal life for me would be waking up in the sunshine every single day. Okay. Because I love the sun. I absolutely love the sun.
Uh-huh.
I would also like to be near the sea because it cleanses
Right.
my energy. Okay.
Okay.
And I love the sea.
Wow.
Um, Happy, contented family life. Okay. My partner's looking at me here, eyeballing me. um, a happy, contented family life. But I've actually got that already now. So that's
Mhm.
already part of the process. So anything else that's added to it will only add to it further, you know? I feel, I suppose, from a perspective of my career and what I do, I
Mhm.
think I would like to be possibly more recognized and more out there more,
Yeah.
and be in a good direction with things, you know? Because
Mhm.
there's been a lot of things that's happened in my past with where I've got to on my journey where things that haven't come to fruition, shall we say.
Right.
Once upon a time, I was offered there was going to be a television deal and a program.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that was something that was going to happen, but it didn't go in that direction, and it didn't go through. And remember, I said it's not happening to me; it's happening for me. I've now realised that process. So it
Yeah.
wasn't meant to be. And then there was another time where there was a UK tour booked all around the whole of the UK. That didn't come to fruition through to do with situations with the peoples I was involved with. There was a lot of it was money motivated from their side, so there was greed. There was a lot of stuff that just wasn't adding up, so it didn't happen and didn't materialize. Going in that direction. Um, Come to peace with that stuff now and release that. What will be will be. If it's meant for you, it will never pass you by, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. So I
Yeah.
feel maybe that direction, more notice for what I do, and being able to help a wider audience of people.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I feel
What's the biggest joy of being Leon? What do you like the most about being you?
the biggest joy.
About being you.
Okay, so the biggest joy about being me is that not all superheroes wear capes. I actually do feel myself as being a superhero of what I do. And my partner's laughing here. She's like, "Oh my God." It's not arrogance, it's confidence because what I do is I absolutely love and adore what I do. It's not a job to me. It's my passion. It's a
Right.
gift. And I
Yeah.
use it in that direction. And it's just a beautiful thing to have and to be able to help people, and to give people hope. to give people peace. You
Mm-hmm.
know, just that in itself, it's magical.
Totally. Yeah, I think having a gift, and when you realize that that's meant to be for you, and you just need to embrace it, there's nothing else you can do about it. You just need to embrace it and go move forward. Yes,
Exactly.
amazing. Next question, let's do
Next
it.
question.
Kaylee from England. Next question is, what hurt your feelings?
What hurts my feelings?
Mhm.
Okay, we're going deep, but it's okay to go deep because I like to go deep. And what hurts my feelings is somebody who lies.
Mhm.
I do not like somebody who lies. No. And that I think that will go down to from my own past experiences in life in general, what I've been through, being around people. Yeah, I'd say so. That's where that comes from.
Do cry easily, Liam.
Do I cry easily? Okay, so I'm a bit of a secret crier.
Okay,
I prefer to cry by myself, away from people. Does that make sense? Is that even a thing?
absolutely. I agree. I think there are no rules. You know what I mean? All of us, we deal with emotion a different way.
Yeah.
When was
Yeah.
the last time that you cried and why, if you can share?
Oh, interesting. Here's another story. Right, we're going to start throwing these stories out now. Okay, so, right, so growing up, I grew up in a very, how can I put this? I've got to word it correctly. I grew up in a very complex family. Okay,
Mhm.
there was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of addiction that was passed down. There was a lot of stuff that shouldn't have been happening, shall we say. So I experienced a lot of that. And from a very early age, I had a lot of people die around me from my father's side of the family, my father, my uncle, my little cousins. And they all died like very close to each other. I was only really young. I'm trying to cut forward with the story without going into too much
Yeah.
right then. So I had my nan, which was my dad's mum.
Mhm.
And I didn't really have the best of relationships with her. Um, and that was through no fault of my own. It was to do with the lifestyle that she was living, what she was involved in. And my
Mhm.
mum done what she thought was best at that time, which was take me away and out of that situation, you know? And she did do the right thing. You know, I agree with what she did. As I've grown older now, I understand it. Okay, so I get to the story part. What's happened is so I went looking for her when I got a little bit older because I wanted some answers and I felt like there was missing pieces to myself, as you would, you know. And I reached out to her. I did manage to find her. Um, I was told that I had a brother, a stepbrother. So I went looking for him and I managed to track the family down. But he wasn't ready to make that connection. It was a bit too much for him. So I had to accept it for what it was, respect it where it was, kept
Okay.
it there and keep it moving. So that's exactly what I'd done. Then got back in contact with my nan and tried to build up some sort of relationship, I suppose is the right word. Um, it didn't go as expected. She was very, I've got to think of my words now. She was very, she was a very lost soul.
Okay.
All right, very lost soul, very troubled. She was in a lot of pain and trauma that she carried through life because she'd experienced a lot of stuff and she'd been through it, you know?
Mhm.
And so what had happened was I built the relationship up, and then it sort of fizzled out through no fault of my own. It was almost like she didn't really want that. Okay, it was the only sort of way I can explain it to you. And what had happened was she passed away quite recently.
Okay.
I know, which was really sad. And I had my auntie who reached out to me, and she connected me with it and told me everything that was going on. And what happened was I hadn't seen my auntie for a long time, and she was adopted by my nan. My nan brought her up. That's a whole different story in itself. And my auntie had been through a lot of stuff with her as well. So you can imagine from both ends, there was a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of
Yeah.
mixed emotions, you know. Um, and what tended to happen was, so my auntie got back in touch with me, and obviously we met up, and there was a funeral for my nan. So we attended the funeral, and she loved reggae. She loved reggae music, right? She absolutely loved reggae. So we got to the funeral. There was me, my auntie, my cousin, and my auntie's husband. Okay, so it was only a small funeral. We got there. As soon as we got there was reggae music playing, right? Bob Marley. We knew straight away she picked her own song, right? So me and
Oh,
my auntie are laughing. We're just laughing because that was Pat all over, right? That
of
was
course.
just her down to a T, you know? Then we got and we sat in there and then we was in the funeral. And I said before I went in there, I was like, I'm not gonna cry. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna cry, right? And what happened was we sat down, they were playing the music, and then they done is it called the residual, where they do all the talking about how perfect the person was, their life was amazing, and da 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 da. And me and my auntie looked at each other and went, he clearly doesn't know her, does he? Some of the stuff he was saying, you know, but we could say that in a joking way, you know.
Right,
And
right.
she was crying, my auntie. I could see
Mm-hmm.
there was a few tears. And I was like, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. And then all of a sudden it just come out of nowhere. So
Oh,
yeah, I started crying. But it was okay. It felt okay. It felt
totally,
okay. It was okay to do it. I felt safe, you know. And it was obviously meant to be at that point, you know.
totally.
So yeah,
Oh,
that was the last time I cried.
I like that. I like the story. I think it's it's just who go through that can understand and can explain and can be the situation. Sometimes our emotions we try to control them, but sometimes they're stronger than our what I mean will, and they just gonna hit us.
It's a bit like a pressure cooker, isn't it? If you I mean, for a long time growing up as a child, like some of the stuff that I went through, the experiences that I had, we call
Mhm.
it character building. It's a good way of putting it, right? What tended to happen was I was brought up with the mentality of, you don't cry. It's
Yeah,
you
I know.
don't. It's tough upper lip. You deal
Yeah,
with it. You're a
yeah,
man, and this is what you do. And I've come to realize, growing up, getting older with wisdom, is that that's actually not the truth.
absolutely not. I
It's
think
not. It's about being in touch with your emotions, the feminine side, the masculine side, and having that balance, and being true to who you are, And that's a big part of what I've changed in my life.
is one of the most powerful thing you can presence. See a man crying, you know what I mean? Because as you said, the
Absolutely.
society taught us that crying is wrong, we should be strong and not show the emotions. But actually the opposite side, asking for help or being vulnerable, it's a big sign of being strong. It's a big
It
sign
is.
of for you to do it because it's totally the opposite, you know what I mean? Because it's not easy to get to that point. It's not if for you to
Well,
be able to cry or to
yeah.
ask
I mean,
for help or say, I'm not feeling well, I'm not
it's
great.
important.
It's
It's
important,
important. I
powerful as
it's
well.
it hits close to home for me because it's really personal from my experience with regards to um when I was 17, there was a very special person in my life, and he was my stepfather, my sister's dad, who brought me up.
Hmm.
And I looked up to him, and he was my dad, and he raised me, and I had the love for him as a dad. And he God bless him, God bless his soul. He was in a lot of pain, and he took his own life, you know,
Absolutely.
and I was young at the time when it happened. And it's looking back on it now, it's almost like if only you would have spoken out, and people could have
Totally.
helped you, and people would have been there for you. And so whenever I talk about like men's mental health and things like that, it hits home with me with what I've experienced and what I've been through.
Absolutely. I think it's
Yeah,
a. I think nowadays we are breaking the stigma. It's still there, you know what I mean? But
it's still
somehow
there. But
still
there's a
there. But
lot
we
of
are
work
breaking.
that's being done on
Yeah,
it, which is really great to see. A lot of like high profile people are talking about mental
totally.
health and how important it is to be reaching out and connecting, and all of that sort of stuff. I feel it's going in the right direction. There's definitely change happening.
Totally. Amazing. Two questions left. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. I love your dancing. You're gonna have to show me some moves.
I'm from Brazil. Brazilian people, or we have two ways of, or you become football player or become a dancer. I didn't become either way, but the blood's still here dancing.
You've still got it. It's in your DNA. It's in your
Yes.
DNA, that is.
Liam, before the next question, being a psychic medium, tell me the moment when you realize that, okay, I have the gift. It's something about me that's, it's there. There was a moment in your life or through life, somehow you understood that.
Right. Okay. So this takes me back to a point. I was living in Mexico at the time.
Mm-hmm.
When I'd moved to Mexico, and I was doing a lot of readings as I always had done. I have clients all around the world in all many different countries. So at this point, I was living in Mexico, and I had a young lady reach out to me for help. Okay. And this young lady that reached out to me was connected to Africa at the time, South Africa, I believe it was. Um, the situation that was going on was that she was looking for guidance to do with a missing girl. There
Mm-hmm.
was a young girl, God bless her. She was only young and she was missing, and there was a big thing about it, what was going on, etc., etc. And so what had happened was I connected with the energy with her and what I could connect with that was going on. And a lot of sensitive information came through about that case, what I connected with at that moment in time. I delivered that information to the lady in question. She then went back to connect with the authorities, the relevant authorities in Africa at that time. I then had a lady from a church who was, so I suppose a priest is the manhood of a church, but then a lady, if a lady's high up in the church, I don't know the name of what that's called,
Mm-hmm.
but she reached out to me for a private reading. So what had happened was at that point, I know that's unheard of. She comes from Christianity and she's religious, and I'm a psychic, and there's that conflict of interest, and
Yeah.
that's another story. But what
Okay.
happened was I read this lady's energy. I connected with the missing persons case with the young girl at the time. I told her exactly everything that I was connecting with, who was involved, what I seen around her, her last known whereabouts, where she was, the whole build up to the story of what had happened. I connected with it in my mind's eye, as I was being shown, where I could see her last footprints of being taken to, and there was a lot of information that came through at that point. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, she then went to the authorities as well at that time in Africa and gave them the information, but unfortunately, they didn't. I don't know if it wasn't they didn't take it serious. They didn't act upon it. Okay, they just didn't act upon the information for whatever reason. I suppose I'll never know that. Um, then what happened was it all came out to pass. The stuff that I said, what was happening and what's going to happen with the case, and etc. etc. And the particular people that were involved, it was a family-led connection who was involved in the little girl's disappearance. It was a stepfather and a stepfather's friend who had just come out of prison at the time. I won't go into the case of what happened to her because it was
No,
quite horrific, and I don't want to talk about that. It's quite
absolutely.
traumatizing, but I connect with a lot of that stuff. Um, and yeah, I spoke to the lady from the church, and she got back in contact with me, and the young lady who reached out to me at that time did as well, and confirmed everything I'd said about the case. Um, and that gave me it gave me confirmation with my gift and who I am and what I do, and
Wow.
to use it for good. But
Wow.
it also gave me confirmation in it wasn't almost like a satisfying way because I'd already known I was good at what I do. It gave me confirmation in a way of where I felt a bit, I was sad.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the situation of the young girl who was involved in that situation and what had happened to her. So I suppose that was a big turning point in my life where things had came through for me. I mean,
I
there's
see.
been many stories, but that's just one that sticks out for me quite a
I
lot.
see. I see. Thanks for sharing, Liam. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question is, if you could stay any age for the rest of your life, what age would that be and why?
Ooh, that is interesting. Any age, eh? Okay, what age would I be? Hmm. I know. Where? Why? I'm getting it in the ear now. My partner's telling me, well, it's got to be the age that we met, hasn't it? It's got to be that age. Do you know what? Actually, valid point with regards to that. So I tell you what. I am in an extremely happy place in my life now with
Mm-hmm.
where I am. Um,
Oh,
and it's took a long time to get there. Actually, I've been through a lot of character building, we'll call it. Okay, and
uh-huh.
it's got me to where I am in my life now, and I am extremely blessed. I'm extremely grateful, and my life is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And it's only going to continue to get better. So I suppose they say life begins at 40, don't they? And I am actually 40 now. So I think there is some truth to that saying.
Wow. I heard that life starts at 50, so there's still 10 to go.
Oh, okay. There's still some growth to go then. We'll see.
And it's amazing. I think we are enjoying the journey. That's what matters. Do you think
Yeah.
that do you think happiness is a choice?
Do I think, sorry?
Happiness is a choice.
Absolutely. It's a state of mind, it's a state of being.
Mhm.
Gratitude. You have the choice to change that at any given time.
Wow, beautiful. Last question, ready?
I'm ready.
Do you know how to say last question in Spanish?
Oh, Poquito español. Tiny amount of Spanish is what I know. Poquito.
Okay. So I'm gonna teach you because very similar to Portuguese. I'm from Brazil and Portuguese is very similar. We say última pergunta.
Última
Pergunta.
pergunta.
Última
Última
pergunta.
pergunta.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Perfecto.
Before the last question, Leah, of course, when I was checking your profile, yeah, you are you are astrologist, yeah, as well, yeah. And
Um, I say astrologist. I have an understanding of it. I
mhm,
wouldn't say so much that's a big genre in the direction I go in, but I do have an interest in it. I do have an understanding of it to a certain extent.
I see. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the end of the interview, I always do like a word association game, yeah. So before the last question, I'm gonna do a word association game with just star signs. I'm gonna say the star signs, and you just tell one word in your opinion or in your studies that defines them. Okay, can you do that?
Ooh, we could do that.
Let's do one word for. Let's start with Aries.
Aries,
One word.
fire,
Taurus.
angry,
Gemini.
two-faced,
Cancer.
curable,
Leo.
passionate,
Virgo.
strong,
Libra.
balanced,
Scorpio.
water.
I'm Scorpio. And do you know the
So am I.
oh my god, which day?
November the 12th.
I'm November 17th. You know the funny thing is I was talking to a friend of mine this week about it. When I have dreams since a long time, there's always water. There's
Yeah.
always water in my dreams. There's a river, it's a sea. That's why when you said about the connection with the seaside, I was like, I can't tell as well. So for me, yeah, I love the water. It's water for me, of course, is our elements,
Do you feel energized when you're by
absolutely.
water?
100%. When I go to the beach, I always go there and I spend oh my God, in the water. In the water. I love the water. Actually, you know what I mean? I could tell so many stories in the water that I had situations. But anyway, let's carry
Yeah.
on. One word for Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Pretty.
Capricorn.
Amazing.
Aquarius.
Stubborn.
And the last one, Pisces. One word.
Fishy. They fly away. They're in and out. They're in and out.
Love it. Okay, last question is, what is the most romantic thing someone has ever done for you?
Oh, very interesting. What I'm going to have to say about that is, I'm sure there's going to be, because the next chapter of my life where I'm in at the moment, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. I'm already experiencing it now. So I'm sure
Mhm.
there's going to be something that's going to be absolutely amazing romantically with regards to me and my current partner. So
Mhm.
I'm going to go in that direction with that. So from the past, I'm going to leave that bit out. Does that make sense?
Of course, absolutely. Of course.
For fear of my life, I've been warned. I'm joking.
Do you consider yourself to be a romantic person?
Yes, I'm very romantic. I am. I
Tell
am.
me, tell me about your first crush.
Oh, my first crush. Okay, so I was in primary school and I think I would have been about 6 or 7. And the girl that I had a crush on was a couple of years older than me. It was my friend's sister, my friend's older sister. Um, and she was from a different religion as well at that point, right? So it was definitely a no-no. It was definitely never going to happen. Obviously, it was just a fantasy at that age when I was younger. But I can
Totally.
remember that was my very first crush. Yeah, my very first crush. I used to blush around her. I used to go all red, and I didn't know how to act. I was like a little kid. Crazy,
Oh, sweet.
crazy.
Very sweet. Right, not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Okay, quick thinking. Let's start with money,
Control,
fear,
love,
family,
important,
life,
excitement,
love,
longevity,
religion,
control,
sex,
back,
politics,
politics. Um, uh, not involved. Not involved.
friendship,
Important.
desire.
Passion.
You know, when I say desire for people, if some people would say for me as a Scorpio, I would say danger.
Ooh,
You know,
very
Scorpio,
interesting.
desire for Scorpio is very dangerous because we, you know what I mean? Anyway,
Can be. Yeah, it
yeah,
can be. That makes sense. That does
yeah,
fit well with me. It can be.
absolutely, yeah. Regrets,
Absolutely none.
amazing.
And I
Success,
say that with a smile on my face.
I could tell straight away how, you know, sure you are about that. Amazing.
Character building. Character building.
Success,
Success. I feel successful.
wish,
Wish to bring more love into the world, is humanity.
beautiful. Happiness,
Reachable for everybody, I feel.
one word for England.
Cold. Wet.
And the last one now, psychic medium, one word.
Psychic medium.
One word.
Channeler.
Amazing. So let's pretend now I'm going to meet your partner for a coffee. She can still hear me?
She can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to go with her for a coffee. Just repeat her name again. I completely forgot.
Ellie, say hi. Ellie.
No,
Her name's Ellie. She said hi.
Ellie. Okay, so she can be behind the camera, but I'm going to ask her.
Yeah.
Ellie, let's pretend that I'm going to come all the way where you live for a coffee, and I'm going to ask you, define Liam in one positive and one negative word only. Don't answer yet. I would like him to say before you say, just what do you think, Liam? She'll tell, and after I would like her to confirm if you're wrong or right. So tell me, if I would meet, you know, your partner for a coffee, and I would ask her, define Liam in one positive and one negative word, what do you think she would say?
Okay, so I think positive word. I think she will say very goal orientated. Yeah. And the negative, I think she will say extremely stubborn.
She agrees?
Do you agree? No. Wow.
So tell me, what do you think?
What would you think?
So you're positive.
Yeah. Strength.
Yeah, but
I knew that was the second part.
There you go.
You're very warming. You're welcoming of people. You're kind. That's your positive. You're
Kind.
really kind.
Very kind.
Yeah.
Okay, she's saying very kind.
Negative?
Negative. Is it not stubborn?
No, you're really arrogant.
She's saying arrogant.
Love it. I love it.
Oh, yeah, but we can change that word to confidence.
No, because arrogance is different.
Oh,
I'm
I agree.
confident.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, he's agreeing.
Confident, I agree.
Oh, I've lost this one then. I've lost.
There's not a game, it's just different point of views. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's play now, Liam, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Liam, before you ask me the question, you know, in the beginning of the interview, you brought your cards, and
Yes.
I'm not sure if you can do that, but you know, we had this interview together, and I'd like if you can pull out a card based on our moment that we are having right now, this interview. It's okay for you to do that?
It's absolutely fine to do that. I'd love to do that. It'd be a pleasure.
Wow,
Okay.
thank you so much. Wow.
Divine Spirit, Angel Guide, show me, please. Summary of the connection for today, please. Thank you. Beautiful. We actually have a couple. So, firstly, I need to go on to the overall energy. The overall energy is a favorable outcome.
Okay.
Okay, that's the overall energy. Now, we also have positive thoughts create positive results.
Wow.
Okay, so that's manifestation, the law of attraction. What you're sending out is what you're vibrating and what you're connecting with. Okay, there is also an energy of exploring options that's coming through.
I like that.
Okay.
Wow.
And there is also a connection of a situation is already resolved.
Wow. Not your arrogance.
Okay. Not she said not your arrogance.
Amazing.
We also have an innocence that's coming through too.
Wow. Interesting.
So there's quite a lot of different energies that's coming through connected with just what you've said based on that. But the overall energy is the overall energy will be the energy of the consist of all of that together will be a favorable outcome.
Wow. Thank you so much, Liam. Thanks for doing that. Amazing.
You're welcome.
Okay, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so the question that I would like to ask you is, it's about a lesson, isn't it? And what did we have? What was the longest lesson it took you to learn in life?
What a great question. And I must tell, I've done here over 1,100 interviews. Nobody asked me this question, not this way. I love that you put in the spot. You're going to make me think now, and I love it. The longest lesson that took me to learn. Wow. Wow. Actually, I know. And actually, it didn't take, it's not long ago that I realized that. And I'm feeling so great with that lesson. And I'm going to share with you right now.
Okay.
You know what? Being Scorpio, as a child, I grew up in a family that, I didn't have much, let's say, warmth, like, expression, like, for example, never hugs or, compliments, kind of thing. I wouldn't change a thing because I love the person I am right now, and I don't blame my parents because they didn't have either. So it's a different concept. However, I had this, warmth connection. And this became for me, growing up, you don't understand ourselves. I think life, we get older, and that's how we understand things in life. And I became like not a needy person, but for me, I always, when I meet people around me and I'm so connected with them, I don't want to let them go somehow, and somehow became a problem because in relationships or friendships, sometimes, I became maybe too much, like over, maybe overprotecting or over because of something that maybe I didn't want to then let go. Yeah, somehow. I met someone a few years ago, and this person was quite interesting because we connect very deeply at the time. And he said something very interesting to me one day. He said, William, I cannot give you what you're looking for. And he was right, because he was older than me and he understood a lot of things about life more than me. And he could see the person who I was. And he said to me, William, I love the way you are. I love the way you think. I love the way you express yourself. However, I cannot give you what you want. And he was totally right. What he meant was, he couldn't give this affection or the love or the need that I needed at the time. And he said something very interesting that at the time I didn't get it. But he said to me, William, do you know why you are like that? Like, somehow you become a bit too much, like, because you don't want to lose people. And sometimes you push them away. He said, because your dad, he abandoned you when you were younger. When he said that, I couldn't get properly, at the time. I understood what he meant to say, of course. I understood his point and everything. But when he said this little phrase, said, it's because your dad abandoned you when you were younger, as a child. My dad never abandoned me, but he wasn't there as a dad. That's what he meant. Anyway, a few years after, I was thinking to myself, and somehow he was totally right. And I think I could do 10 years of therapy. Maybe I would understand that. With this little phrase, I wasn't ready to get the message at the time.
At that point.
Now, at the
Yeah.
point now, for the last, let's say, a year or less than a year, I understood now. And I'll tell you now, I'm always a friend that always being very, let's say, checking on my friends. I'm always like, and sometimes they're expecting that from me, and became like and sometimes when I wasn't doing, they were like, "Are you okay, Will?" I said, "Yes, I'm okay." And so, what the lesson? I'm going around just for you to understand. But the lesson, what was the lesson is, I think sometimes, you know what I mean. You don't need to be checking on people, or they're not gonna abandon you. You know what I mean? They're not gonna let you go. So I don't need. But I was doing unconscious that, because sometimes if a friend didn't contact me, let's say for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I was already contacting, or I was, oh, why? You know what I mean? There was
Yeah.
something there. And now I understood this, because for me, I didn't want people to abandon me. I didn't want to be alone. And the lesson is, I don't need to be this way. I just need to live the way it is. And people, they're going to be around you all the time. The friends, people who you trust, people who cares about you. So sometimes don't need to be in touch, or they don't need to be in touch with you, because they're not going to leave you. They're not going to abandon you. So back to your question again, Lee, I think that is a lesson that when I think about it, I smile. I said, my God, I feel free now because of that. It took so long. I could understand that. And this lovely man, he was so right. He said, "Willie, it's because your dad abandoned me." And he was totally right. And that's because somehow unconscious, I was overprotected. I was over caring, you know what I mean, of the person. Sometimes I was suffocating people around me in a way, in a romantic way, let's say. So that's why, you know what I mean? And it took me so long to understand that, Lee. And nowadays, when I think about people, when I want to connect with someone, I go with this mentality of, you know what, just let it be. If they're gonna connect with you, if you feel great with their company, it's okay as well. You don't need to be overthinking, overprotecting, overchecking, nothing. Just let it be. You know what I mean? And people, they're gonna like the way you are. They're not gonna abandon you if they meant to be in your life. So for me, it's been a lesson that I've learned, I'd say a few months ago or a year, and I feel so great. I feel like
that was going to be my next question. How do you now feel that you've learned that and being in that energy of where you are now?
Love your question again, and I'll tell you, I feel so. I feel happy. I feel without this, heavy feeling in my shoulders when I think about people around me, friends as well. And when I think about people that for somehow I was very connected with them, and they're not here anymore, it's okay. I don't need to be, thinking about it. So I feel free. It literally is free. When you free yourself from something.
That's what I was waiting to hear. Free, and you said it.
I feel free. Feel like, when you feel, it's like ending a relationship, when you feel like, oh my God, I can breathe now, it's gone, it's over. So that's how I feel now. Free is the right word to say.
Beautiful.
Great question. Love your question. And it's not long ago that I've learned this lesson, Lee, and it's so interesting you asking that now, because it's been something that I've been enjoying every day. When I think about it, I feel like, oh my God, it's so nice to feel this way. You know what I mean? And it hasn't been that long, for sure. It hasn't been that long. And it's very interesting you asking this question right now, because that's the answer for you, for sure. I feel free right now. Yes.
Thank you for answering that question.
I love it. Did you enjoy the interview?
I love the interview. It was different. It's unique. I love when you reached out to me and said about what you do and you have the magic box. I thought it's very different. I just like it. Different. It's got a really good vibe and a good feel to it. And I was like, I need to do this. It feels right.
Thanks, Leah. And you know what? It's so interesting, because the first time we tried, it didn't happen. The second time I couldn't make it, and we made it today. And I think today
we made it today. It was meant to be. It was definitely meant to be today.
And for sure, and I'm so thankful for your question, because I'm having goosebumps now. This question, you made me. It was the right question. That actually I haven't talked to this with anyone right now, and you ask me that now. I feel so great about it, because it's so genuine for me. You have no idea how I'm feeling right now regarding the thing that I've been trying to learn for the last few years, and now I understood the message. So yeah, I appreciate your question for sure. Thanks.
Love that.
Before we go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Okay, so what I would like to share is a positive messages would be Always remember to be kind to someone in the street. Even just shed a smile, because you never know what's going on behind that person's life and what they're going through.
Totally.
And
Wow.
just that smile could be something that could change their day in such a positive direction. Or
Amazing.
even taking time to just listen to someone for something that they're going through, you know, anything within that direction. And I think that goes down to being love thy neighbor. We're going to go from the Bible, like religion, what we were talking about, but love thy neighbor. Just love thyself, love thy neighbor, love people, spread love. Yeah, not hate, not fear, love.
Wow. And I think being kind is so simple, and it comes back to you in such a bigger proportion that it's going to warm your heart.
Absolutely.
For sure.
It does.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Thanks again, regards to you, to your partner, all your family
Yeah.
and friends. Keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay?
Definitely will do. Thank you, William. Take
Have
care.
a good night. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.